Being in your 20s is a weird feeling. It's a weird experience. You legit feel like a 14-year-old inside of an adult body. That is legit how I feel like on a day-to-day basis. When I was younger and even throughout my teen years, I wanted to be an adult so bad. Like I wanted to happen overnight. And next thing you know, with a snap of a finger, here I am, a 14-year-old inside of a 25-year-old body. It's all fun and games until you're 21 years old, which is the legal adult age. And then you're hit with all of these social expectations. Yo, you should be making a certain amount of money every single year out of college. You should be making moves with your dating life. Or if you have a partner, hey, maybe that's taking that next step. You should be getting ready to start a family. Maybe that's moving out of your parents' crib, buying your own car. And then you scroll on social media one day. You see your friends from high school. They already have a kid. They're traveling the world. Maybe they have their own business and you're here like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? It's hella weird. You feel like you have a better understanding of yourself now. You feel like you know what you're doing. At the same time, you're just a kid, a lost kid in the candy store, not knowing what he is doing with his life. Yeah, welcome to my reality. In this video, I want to talk about investments that has helped me fast track my life over these last few years. By no means am I where I want to be yet in my life. I'm not financially free or some guy that is just here to tell you what to do with your life. Nah, I'm still trying to figure it out as we speak here. But for context, just 5 years ago, my life was completely different. 5 years ago, I was in my junior year of college. At the time, I was 30 pounds overweight, relied heavily on drinking and drugs just to help me get through my day. I was thousands in debt, on the verge of getting kicked out of school, and quite frankly, not having any direction on where I wanted to head towards in my life. I legit lived each day, one day at a time, just waiting for time to pass by. Fast forward 5 years, I'm in the best shape of my life, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you name it. I haven't had to clock in at a job ever since I was 19 years old. And now I get to show others how to use fitness as a vehicle to being able to create their dream life. Again, by no means am I where I want to be yet, or am I here to tell you what you should do with your life. But these 5 investments have given me a tremendous ROI. ROI, which stands for return on investment. Maybe these are investments that you've been thinking of doing. Maybe these are things that you've never thought of. Again, not here to tell you what you should do, but these are some things that has helped me tremendously and some things that I still do till this very day. Number 1 is hiring mentors. This is in fitness, business, or any skill sets that I want to develop. Here's the thing, I've never been that guy that reached out to others for help. Like back in school, in elementary, middle, high school, even college, there was not a time, not even once, where I raised my hand or went up to the teacher to ask a question. Never. I never wanted to look like someone that struggled or felt out of place, didn't know what he was doing. I'm pretty sure no one wants to feel that way. Until one day I was doom scrolling on the toilet back in 2020. I saw a video and it changed my entire perspective on asking for help. It said something along the lines of, if you knew what you were doing, you'd already have that end result. And that was the biggest wake-up call of my life. I've always been that guy that would watch a ton of YouTube videos, do a ton of research, scroll through social media to try to gather as much information as possible. I was always that guy that would try to strategize and come up with the best game plan. Yes, I had that information and research that I did, but I never actually took any action. I'd be stuck up in that analysis paralysis, like, yo, is this gonna work? Like, is this the best plan? Like, what if things don't go the way that I want it to? I was legit getting in my own way right there. And that kept me stuck for years. I legit got in my own way. And at that point, I knew I needed help. At the time, I was starting my online fitness coaching business. I was doing it on the side to help a couple of buddies out. But then I realized that, yo, if I have people coming to me already, like, why not actually go all in and make this a thing? I knew how to get people results. I knew how to get a couple of clients here and there, but I never knew how to actually put this and make this into an actual business. There were a few fitness coaches I was following at the time who worked with a mentor named Brian Mark. Like at that time, I knew I needed to get some sort of help. I got into his program and legit, my life has completely changed ever since. I don't know about you, but I'd rather get the step-by-step blueprints from someone who already has that end result that I'm looking for than to hop in an Uber pool without a final destination. Hiring that first mentor absolutely changed the game for me. You see, asking for help doesn't make you look weak. In fact, let's face it, you weren't born knowing how to walk, knowing how to talk, knowing how to use your phone, your computer, knowing how to do all these different things that you do as an adult. You've gotten help from your parents, your friends, your teachers, the people that have been in your life. This doesn't even have to mean that you have to hire a mentor. Maybe this can mean asking someone that has a result that you want. Ask them what they did, the process that they followed. This way you can take the guesswork out for you. This brings me to number 2, making huge financial investments, even though it probably didn't really make sense at the time. This is definitely unconventional advice here. This is not advice whatsoever. When I hired my first mentor, Brian Mark, at the time I had like $350 in my bank account. It was August 2020, literally like 2 weeks away from starting my next semester at college. That payment came out to $300 per month. I remember when I made that payment, as excited as I was, kickstarting this actual business mentorship. Yo, I was scared shitless. Like I had $50 to my name. I didn't know how I was gonna pay rent the next month. I didn't know how I was gonna buy groceries. I didn't know how I was gonna survive. Remember, there were days where I legit didn't even sleep. Like I would wake up at like 5 a.m. because I knew I needed to figure this out. As scary and uncomfortable that was, that situation literally put my back against the wall. And it forced me to have to figure it out. You see, a lot of times, as human beings, we tend to take the more comfortable route because that's how our brains were designed. If we have to decide between pain and pleasure, we're gonna go with the pleasure. Like, our brains wanna keep us safe, but constantly keeping ourselves safe and comfortable, it doesn't result in growth or new opportunities. That first month inside of that business mentorship, I think I made like $1,500. So I legit 5x my investment right from the start. If I didn't take that leap of faith and made that initial investment, who knows where I'll be right now? Probably still stuck living that same lifestyle of eating, drinking, just living my best life, not knowing where I want to head towards in my life. There was another time where my back was against the wall. This was September of 2022. At the time, I just finished college. I came back to New York City, living with my parents. August of that summer, my parents and my sister, they bought a house and they moved out. And I decided to stay in the apartment where I grew up in. I kid you not, I legit didn't sleep for like 2 weeks. I didn't know how I was gonna pay the bills. At that time, I also made a huge financial investment to a personal development program that I joined, which was $1,000 a month. And I legit didn't even know how I was gonna survive. But again, in those situations where my back is against the wall, it forced me to have to figure it out. That very month, I tripled my income because I knew that if I didn't make any money, I'd be sleeping on the street. And that was not gonna happen. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and blow all your money and make some dumb financial moves. You can do that if you want. I'm not responsible for that. But hey, if you know that there's an opportunity that will allow you to move forward in your life, maybe that's a fitness program, a business program, some sort of skill that you can develop. If you have your basic needs met, hey, go for it. Sometimes we need to put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation to almost force us to have to figure it out and have to make it work. And lastly, number 3, therapy. By no means am I someone that liked asking for help, let alone expressing my thoughts and my opinions. I've always been super reserved and kept my own thoughts to myself. This is hella funny because I used to think that therapy was stupid. And I thought that it was for people that had problems. But just because you go to therapy doesn't mean that you got problems. All therapy is a place where you can express yourself. You can express your own thoughts, your opinions, and get a better understanding of yourself. What made me decide that I needed to go to therapy was, especially as an entrepreneur, doing something that is way out of the typical norm of working a 9-to-5, of working a corporate job. There were a lot of limiting beliefs that I had. Like when I made money, I felt hella guilty that I was taking money from other people. Like I didn't believe that I was capable of doing more in my life. Like I didn't have a ton of confidence in myself to push myself to do the things that I want to be able to do. Like I had crazy goals and ideas, but I didn't feel like I was capable of doing so. But when I had that first session with therapy, I remember I just told my therapist, like, yo, just keep asking me why. Like, don't even give me your opinions or your ideas. Don't try to continue validating me. Just continue asking me why. It allowed me to peel the layers back. And express things that I've never expressed in my life, or never even had ideas that crossed through my brain. The value in therapy is being able to express your thoughts. And when I say express your thoughts, I mean saying it out loud. Because you can have all of these ideas in your brain, but when you say it out loud, you have to interpret it a little bit differently. You actually hear what you're saying and thinking, and you get to decide, yo, is this something that I want to continue believing? Like, there was a time when I expressed to my therapist, like, yo, I feel like I'm not moving forward in my life. I feel like I'm not doing good enough in my life. And then saying all these things out loud, I'm like, what? Where did that belief even come from? Like, I'm literally living the dream life that I envisioned 3 years ago. Like, what you mean you're not doing well in your life? You can even do this with a friend, your partner, someone that you trust. Ask them if you can express yourself without any judgment, without any thought, without any answers. Just let me talk and hear me out. It does some powerful shit. Hey, you can even do this on your own. Just speak things out loud instead of just letting your thoughts sit up and marinate in here. What I've been realizing is growth in your journey isn't about just grinding, just doing more, doing extra, going ham, stomping on that gas pedal. Like, yes, that's what's going to move that needle forward. Yes, that's what's going to get you ahead. But where the growth actually happens is when you take that step back and you actually allow yourself to reflect. You actually remove yourself from the day-to-day stress, struggles, and problem-solving mode. And you get to look at your entire life from a 5,000 mile away perspective. You realize all of the shit that you've been able to accomplish. You realize how far you've come. And you realize that, yo, like, I am doing my very best and I'm trying my very best. I hope that this video provided you with value. Maybe you've been thinking of reaching out to that fitness coach, that business mentor, or that person that has a skill or result that you're looking for. Maybe you've been thinking of moving out on your own or making that big financial investment that scares the living shit out of you. But you know, like, yo, this is gonna help me. This is what I want, but I'm just scared to go ahead and do it. Hey, maybe that is experimenting with therapy. By no means am I here to tell you what you should do or how to live your life. The coolest thing about this beautiful thing that we call life is you get to decide who you want to become, what you want to do, where you want to be, what moves you want to take. Especially in today's world with social media being a huge part of our life. It can be toxic at times because it's like, yo, there's just so much information thrown out there. Like, people are just posting their highlights. But you get to decide what you want to watch, what you want to listen to, what perspectives you want to let in. You also get to decide what isn't for you, who you don't want to listen to. But at the end of the day, you get to decide who you want to become, my friend. If you've watched up to this point in this video, I appreciate you more than you know it, and I'll catch you on the next one.